Oh no.
And we're live. Woo! All right. So I don't know why it's still not showing up on my channel. This is bull dookie. That's right. I'm pulling out. Oh, there it is. I'm pulling out like the nasty words.
All the words.
Oh, I love that. Somebody has already thumbs down the video and it hasn't even started yet.
My life. There's always one. It's probably my fault. I brought them with me.
No, it's Heather. She just likes to just get it out of the way beforehand.
I just do it for all of us. Just thumbs it down for all. Save the heartbreak of someone else doing it.
Let me make sure. For some reason, I can't see the comment. Oh, there it is. Yay. So my big plan of being able to see the comments while on the iPad while we do this has been dashed because it won't show me comments.
That's so weird.
On the iPad. Oh, wait. Maybe I hit that. Oh, there we go. Good Lord. It's like I'm 80 and somebody's trying to teach me how to use a VCR. Oh, God, that reference is even dated now, too. Oh. Lordy. Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming out. It is going to be a good night already, I can tell. We've already got Dark Roses in the house tonight. Friday Ketchup, Denise Marie, Carly Douglas. I think that's a new name. Welcome, Carly. We've got Amber Phillipson, Haggers. We've got Miss Bonnie Bailey, our girl Angie's in there. Celiac Kitten. Hey, Denise Marie. All right, yes, they are saying it is sad, but a VCR is dated reference. So, So, welcome to Classy Chicks Vintage Flicks. I think we are all like really super excited to be talking about Meet Me in St. Louis tonight. Oh, is that, did I spoil things? What's going to happen here? Maybe, I don't know. I haven't talked to all of them about it. Props to Jail for being like a super trooper. She has been horribly sick. She's not, let me rephrase that. She is not admitting she is sick yet, but she's sick. So she is battling with her internal system to not be sick. So go Jail. Our money is on you. Thanks so much for coming out and being here to talk about it. So tonight we are talking about 1944's MGM classic, Meet Me in St. Louis. And with me to talk about this movie, as always, are my better halves, my better thirds. Is that, yeah, right? That's math. I don't know. My better parts of me. So we have Heather from How to Be Fancy.
Hello.
And we have the gorgeous JL from Modern Retro Gal.
Hey, everybody.
That was like such a I will not be defeated sound.
You can do it.
We believe in you, JL. Friday Ketchup says, thank you for battling on, JL. Janice says, poor JL. Amber, yes, I did. The hair, yes, was absolutely inspired by Judy Garland tonight. I don't have really short bangs, so I couldn't do the little like wavy wave that she does right there. Dark Rose says she's loving the mermaid hair out of myself and Heather. I might be copying Heather because, you know, whatever color she does, I tend to come up right behind her being like, hey, that's a great color. I'm going to do that too. So don't be surprised if I go more green because gorgeous it is. Dark Rose says, Jill, pound that vitamin C. Well, she said vitamin C is your best friend. I don't know why I change what everybody says. I don't know. I don't know why I do that. All right. So this month I am the researcher on this one because I am obsessed with the 1893 World's Fair of Chicago, which is basically where St. Louis ripped everything off from. Let's just be honest. I mean, that Ferris wheel was our Ferris wheel that we had here. All the neoclassical buildings, that's what Chicago did. So, always with this film at the end where they're like, nowhere else in the world is like, I'm like, no, it was Chicago. Chicago did it first. So, a little of my nerd side of me. So yeah. Yes, I was born with this hair color. Oh, okay. You know what? Okay, I'm gonna have to do this on the computer because there's somebody saying something that I will not have on our feed. Will not. Give me just a moment, you guys. I really need to make somebody a moderator one of these days. Oh, okay. See that face?
And we have no idea because we can't see it. And so her faces are just having to tell the story.
Oh my God. Oh my God. You go ahead. You make more accounts. Oh my God. Wow. They are really, Amber says, I'm making the same face. Wow. They are coming out of the woodwork tonight. That, you know what that must mean? We're starting to get noticed. Oh yeah. We're starting to get popular. All right.
You still can't.
Oh, okay. Hey, Ange, if you are out there and available, I'm gonna make you a mod.
Yay.
All right. I don't know if she can, but if she's out there, I'm gonna make her one. Must be a St. Louis gang, Denise says. Oh wow, that was kind of crazy. Any hoodle, not on our channel. Our space is a good space, and that won't happen. Miss Bonnet, Angie's like, huh? So Angie, I made you a moderator. So if there's look pants kind of things going on, if you could just go ahead and remove them. Yes, you have all the power. Angie is our DM on our D&D games, and she is a fearsome dungeon master. So, all right. Yes, nerd alert. Okay, so I am tonight's moderator, or oh, Angie, get right on that. Yeah, punish. Oh, yeah, this is wow, this is crazy tonight. Yes, I will. All right, we are going to wow. Okay. Okay, thanks, Ange. Yeah, I know, right? Okay, I know. Poor Heather and JL have she's getting on it. She's just figuring it out. All right, yes, you're right, Friday catch up. Let's get back on the train of fun. Okay, so Meet Me in St. Louis is starring the incomparable Judy Garland, and also starring Margaret O'Brien, Mary Astor, and Tom Drake, as well as a just plethora of others. It was directed by Vincenzo Minnelli, who indeed did end up marrying Judy Garland after this film was made. They actually did not get along at the beginning of this film, and then they obviously started getting along real well. And they had Liza Minnelli together. Their marriage was fairly short. I believe they divorced in the 50s. But this film was actually nominated for 4 Academy Awards, including Best Writing, Adapted Screenplay, Best Cinematography, color, best music score. That's more than 4 Academy Awards. Oh, I copied and pasted. But what I love is What I love is Margaret O'Brien actually received an Academy Juvenile Award for her work in that year. She appeared in several movies, including Meet Me in St. Louis. And she, of course, was Tootsie. Tootie. That's another show. Never mind. And this is actually an adaptation of a series of short stories by Sally Benson, who was originally published in the New Yorker magazine under the title 5135 Kensington, which is the name of this film. Wow, Angie's got a lot of work to do today. Thank you very much, Ange, for getting on that for us. It was also based on Sally Benson's childhood and the memories of her family. They had lived in St. Louis, and then they moved to New York shortly before the World's Fair. But unlike the film, they did not end up staying in St. Louis. So this was the second highest grossing picture of that year. And for MGM, it was the second, pretty much the highest grossing film since Gone with the Wind for them. This has also become one of the culturally significant films, and it is selected for preservation. All right. Hold on just a second. I'm gonna do one more to help Angie out. Try to catch up, you're the one. Making you a moderator is so much fun. All right. This is actually one of Judy Garland's most successful films for MGM, and guess what? She didn't want to do it to begin with. She actually thought that this was perpetuating this image of her being a girl next door, and she really wanted to get more into being seen as more of a leading lady. And the thing is, she thought after she saw this film, she realized how insanely gorgeous she looked in it, and that she wasn't the dowdy girl next door in it. And she fell in love with it, and it ended up becoming one of her favorite roles. What I found interesting is that Minnelli actually assigned a new makeup lady by the name of Dorothy Pundell to be assigned to Garland, and she refined her appearance, including extending and reshaping her eyebrows. I know a good set of eyebrows can change everything. Am I right? She also changed her hairline, modified her lip line, and removed her nose discs. Yeah, you heard that right. Nose discs, which actually was supposed to extend the nose, which when you see her nose in this movie, it's so pert and tiny and just so cute. Why did it need to be changed? And dental caps. And then after this, she actually wrote her into the contract. I am telling you guys, there is so much out there about this movie that I could literally go on for quite a while, but I'm just going to kind of skip past some of them and get to some really, really good stuff about this, right? As well as, get this, Margaret O'Brien's mother wanted more money for her to play Tootie in this film. The studio then recast the role with the daughter of a lighting man who was working on the film. They even got her into costume, but then they changed their mind and they went back with Margaret O'Brien. And then when O'Brien was playing a scene, when the lighting man intentionally dropped a heavy spotlight to the soundstage, it narrowly missed her. And he was taking, I know, right?
Stop it.
He was taken away.
Dad.
I know. And he was admitted to a mental institution for his deed.
Wow.
Right? That's like the stuff of like weird things going on. And they were actually going to make more movies starring kind of this family, and it never actually got off the table. Judy Garland at this point was sneaking off a lot of times from the set. She missed 13 days. She really was kind of causing a lot of havoc on the set for everybody. But it was only later when people kind of realized what she was going on, they had a little bit more sympathy for what was happening. One of the things that I found super cute is in the going away party for Lon, Esther asked Tootie if she wants to recite "Did You Ever See a Rabbit Climb a Tree?" And this was a nonsense poem from Father Goose, his book, which was written by L. Frank Baum, who is the author of Wizard of Oz, which I thought that was very, very cute. And if you begin this movie at the 30-second mark of 10:22 p.m. on Christmas Eve, viewers can ring in Christmas Day at the very same moment the characters in the film do, just as the cathedral bell chimes midnight. So I kind of want to do that one year. And it would be so fun, right? And while this film chronicles a year in the life of the Smith family, it actually only covers 6 days, which I thought was really interesting. It's 3 in summer, and Halloween, Christmas Eve, and 1 morning in spring. So those were some of the funnest little tidbits I could find. So let's go round rabbit real quick after we've kind of gone through the history. Because like I said, there's so much good stuff about this film. I really didn't want to take up the whole movie chat just talking. So let's go round robin and see what everybody thought of it. And I will start with, okay, Jael.
Okay. Let me clear my throat. So I do really like this movie. I wouldn't say it's like a movie that I love. Like, it doesn't get me like Singing in the Rain does. But I do really like this movie. But and I'm a little like congested, so I'm having a hard time like remembering everything since it was like last month also that I watched it. But it's one of those movies where I literally feel like in order to enjoy it, I need to be watching it with someone so that I can be like, are you seeing this too? Like, is this happening? Am I hallucinating? Because there were moments in the movie, mainly like the Halloween, because I kept having to like go back and rewatch the Halloween section because I was like, did I miss something? Is this Halloween? And I'll get to that in a minute. But I did really enjoy it, and I liked it because even though this movie was made a long time ago and it was set in a time period like even before it was actually made, some of the things that go on are still things that you see like in sitcoms and in movies. Like, they're trying to rearrange dinner time because the girl's gonna have a boy call her and they don't want it to be like in the middle of dinner. And you know, like, I remember that as a teenager in high school, like, so and so is gonna call and you're like trying to like, okay, well, don't call during this time because this is like when I have dinner and everybody's gonna be there, and then the entire family's gonna be like, you know, sitting at a table staring at you while you're like on the phone with somebody, and you don't want them like listening in on the conversation, you know? So it was like those kinds of things. I just thought it was so interesting that that's still so relevant to today. And then the dad comes home and he's like, guess what, everybody? You're going to be so happy with me. We're like moving to New York. Isn't that great? And like all the girls are like, oh my God, you're ruining my life. And the mom's like, how could you do this to us? And I'm like, that is still a reaction that most people would have today. It wasn't like, oh, Father dear, thank you for moving us to New York. This is going to be so great. And I love how, like, I don't remember who the character was, but she was like, well, you're going to be living in the slums now. You know, it's just like, he thinks it's like this great thing, and he's just getting ruined, the dad. And the dad's just like, I'm trying to do what's best for the family financially, you know? So it just cracked me up. But then there's the whole Halloween section in the middle of the movie, and I literally could not understand what was happening. Like, I don't know if this that was normal, but the fact that the children were allowed to just run free in the middle of the night unsupervised, stealing people's lawn furniture and setting it on fire in the middle of the street, and no one was concerned. And this was actually normal that the neighbor called and was like, hey, yeah, if your girls take my hammock, can they just put it back when they're done? Like, this is a normal thing. And the grandpa's like, yeah, you should like just wet the flour down because then it sticks to people when you throw it at them. Like, people were expecting this to happen with small children, and it was normal, and no one was concerned. There was no supervision. The only supervision were like the older kids, and they weren't even teenagers.
Only a mother.
Am I watching the same movie? Like, did something happen to my TV and some other movie started, like, did it glitch and I'm watching something else all of a sudden? I was so confused. I kept rewinding, going, what is going on in this section of the movie? I don't understand. And then the little girl, like, I still couldn't exactly figure out what happened to her, that she had to, like, get stitches in her lip. But she's like, yeah, the guy next door, he, like, tried to kill me. And when they find out she's lying about it, they're all just laughing. She lied, no big deal, whatever. It's like, these people are not normal. This is not normal. I need somebody else with me to help me. Like, I'm not hallucinating. And I wasn't even sick when I watched it. I was totally sick. One of those movies where I'm like, I like this movie. I'm pretty sure I like this movie. And like, Judy Garland is like fantastic in this movie, like absolutely fantastic. And I think it's a musical because there was a lot of songs in it, right? Am I remembering this right? Like, I feel like people were like busting out in song and dance at some point.
I don't know if Jail knows if this is all a fever dream and she's just really sick right now.
I wasn't even sick when I watched it.
Like, did I watch the same thing as everybody else?
You did.
Yep.
Judy Garland was in. So yeah, like, I like this movie, but it's definitely one of those things where, like, I need champagne and donut holes at midnight and like a BFF to watch this so that we can like buzz watch the movie, because then I think it would probably make more sense for me. Not that it's bad, but I was just sitting there like, I feel like I just watched 3 different movies. Like, I just don't understand. And I know it was like broken up into like different, you know, seasons, but still, I was like, that's how it right off. I'm like, children are like taking furniture and no one is calling the police. Everything cares. Like, it's not back on the porch. That'd be great.
Well, you
grew up in the wrong time frame because arson was a perfectly acceptable childhood activity part of the century.
I will say that Halloween didn't become the Halloween we know until like the 1920s. So the throwing of flour was actually what they did back then. And they pulled a lot of pranks, and they traditionally had bonfires at the time. So yeah, it's a good depiction of what was happening.
Or in broad daylight. I mean, goodness gracious.
And then JL wonders why we don't have kids.
Friday Ketchup agrees with you, JL. She says they were whacked out or something.
There was
And she said, nope, not even Champers and Donut Holes will help with that section. Denise says, I love you, JL. I think this is the most she has ever commented on a movie. So funny. And Angie says, who knew Judy was the face of anarchy? Friday Ketchup says, great examples of what not to do in that Halloween section. Corey Lynn has joined us as well as Vegan Vintage Geek. Yay. Vegan Vintage Geek says, yeah, when the kids found those old clothes, oh, that's what they did. They found the old clothes on the street. They stuffed it to make it look like a person and put it on the tracks so they could see it get runned over. And she was like, what? These kids? Again, like JL says, they don't get in trouble. Everybody laughs.
Like, no big deal. Oh, what? Oh, and then they're laughing because that's right. Because then the little, like, trolley dumped the track and they thought it was hilarious. And the parents...
They did briefly mention it could have killed people before laughing. I will never, ever, ever be able to watch that part again without JL in my head being like, see, now that makes no sense. But why are these kids running around like that? 5-year-old running around. Oh, thank you. Thank you for being you.
For what I say when I'm not feeling well.
No filter. All right, Heather, what do you think of this film?
I think I need to recover for a second. So this is one of my top probably 5 favorite films of all time. I would not say that it's one of my favorite musicals. I don't think it's hard for me to, I don't know. I don't necessarily, when I think about this film, think of it as a musical so much as I think of it as like a fun, like comfortable, warm spot for me. I don't know, something about it. I'm always like happy to come home to this family. Now I might be a little creeped out by them. But to me, they always just seem like the family I want to like go home to. So this film always gives me like warm fuzzies in some ways. And also just because of, I think Judy Garland, this is probably one of my favorite films of hers. I think, I know, I was listening to, I was actually listening to an interview with Liza Minnelli talking about the film. And she said that her mother, when she got the contract, didn't want to do the film because it was too juvenile and she was tired of doing like really juvenile roles. So she started playing it really tongue-in-cheek. And then Vincent Minnelli was like, no, you have to really believe this because this is her first time experiencing this teenage kind of grown-up world. And I think you really see that. I think she like captures that, like even with like helping Rose, is it Rose? Yeah. Helping her older sister like plan for like when the boy's gonna call. And like that's such a sister thing to do, I think, is to like work together to like not manipulate, but you know, work the system in the house to get things to like fall according to plan. And I feel like they do that so well together. I love them like as sisters. I love kind of that connection. And then the way that they treat even like the smaller girls. So I love that. Marjorie Main, again, this has some of my favorite people in it. Marjorie Main is one of my all-time favorites. Like if she's in something, I'll always watch it. I think her comedic timing is so spot on. Even like all of the dinner scenes when she comes out with like what was it, corned beef? What is it?
Yeah, it was either corned beef or roast beef, but it was a beef.
And like, you know, she's like, well, you said you wanted it to last for 2. Just her timing, the whole thing with the ketchup, all of those little moments with her are some of my favorite parts of this movie. I think she adds just that element of fun to the family, but it's in her like very gruff sort of way, and I love that. I actually really like Mary Astor in this film. I think she plays a great mom that isn't always like oh dear, oh dear. You know what I mean? Like she has like fun with her family. And I think that's what I love is even the dad, as like stodgy as he is, you can see him having fun with his family. And so I do agree with JL in the fact that there are some things and some topics in the film that are so relevant today and are things that we would laugh at today. Things I feel like it's a super relatable film. And so I love it. I think there's tons of little moments in this film. It's not like I guess that's what I like about it, is that it's not this film that's leading up to this one fair moment. Like the moment at the fair isn't necessarily like the climax of the film. It's really just these little moments throughout the movie with the family that kind of make this movie what it is and help it to like carry this weight that I don't think it would have otherwise if it had really been like a traditional musical that built up to the fair, or that took place around the fair even. And I think this is maybe one of the first musicals that wasn't like stop and sing a song. Like it was more like the music was woven in to the story. So it's not so much like you have this moment where you disconnect and it's like you break the wall and now we're singing a song. It's like all of that music is part of the storytelling. And so it's not like the music tells the story about how they're feeling, not so much about what's happening. And so I really enjoy that. And I think that may be one of the first times that we see that in film, where the music is actually just part of the storytelling. And so I really appreciate that. It's one of my favorites. I love the clothing in this movie too. Some of the color combinations, I've got a lot. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The wardrobe in this, one of my favorites.
Oh, why can I hear myself? This is not good. I literally don't know why I can hear myself, and it's going to drive me nuts. All right. So, this is one of my top favorite films ever in the history of ever. There is something about this film. To me, it has the same feel as like a Little Women, and with Green Gables, stories that I love, like A Tree Grows in Brooklyn, where it's like not so much a story about, like Heather said, like an end event. It is a slice of life, and it's just one of those things that every time I watch this movie, I wish that every person in the world had a family like this, that everybody out there could experience a home environment that was like this family. And it probably is idealized because in its retelling, because I don't know if families really are like that, but it's just one of those things that it just has that warmth to it, and I absolutely love it. As crazy as the Halloween stuff is, it is some of my favorite parts of the film. I love Judy's character, Esther, going over and beating up John Truitt, because at the end of it, yes, it's like, oh, I want to get married, and it's marriage is a goal for women at this time period, and this is the boy she loves, but at the heart of it is like family comes first, sisters come first. You hurt one of mine, I'm gonna go beat you up, kind of thing. And I just, to me, that was just such an empowering moment of family coming first beyond everything else. And again, even with the father at the end, or how they made the story go, is he again put his family ahead of money and the ambition to do what he was going to do. Like Heather said, I love every single outfit in this film, starting off with Judy's striped outfit. Oh my God. And the chartreuse dress with the little tie. I mean, could just die. And how amazing did the mom look when she came out at the end in her white gown? The songs are phenomenal. Even though the trolley song is slightly annoying, it really kind of is, and it gets in your head and it doesn't leave. But it's so funny because when we started redoing, talking about doing this for Classy Chicks, I was actually giving my 1893 World's Fair tour, And we were talking about Little Cairo and the Midway and Little Egypt, one of the dancers there. And they used to call it the hoochie coochie dance that this woman did, which is actually what we know as belly dancing today. And it was in that moment when I was speaking, you know, to a crowded bus, and I actually stopped and I'm like, oh, I just had an epiphany. And I'm like, has anybody seen the movie Meet Me in St. Louis? And a couple hands go up. And I'm like, you know that part in the song? And yeah, sadly, I did sing part of it. And it will be like, they will dance the hoochie coochie. And I'm like, now I get it, because it's the hoochie coochie. It's Little Egypt. It's a and it just like blew my mind. And it was just these little details that I absolutely loved about it. Even, yeah. So I hands down love this film. Oh yeah, yes. Okay, Dark Rose just brought this up. And she says one of the best things about this movie is 2D being so morbid. And yes, I absolutely love that when she's sitting on the with Mr. Neely doing the deliveries, and she's like, she's got 4 fatal diseases, and he's like, well, it only takes one. You know?
That's one of my favorite parts. She's gonna have the best funeral.
Father gave me a special box.
I love her.
And it's not even really that odd to me. It's just like this reminder of like, even at the turn of the century, life was a lot harder, even though it was a lot easier in a lot of ways than it had been in decades past. Death was much more part of your world, you know. Even at that point, a lot of times kids wouldn't make it out of childhood, you know, because they do something stupid like you know, putting a stuffed body on the tracks. Corey says, Jen, I love the trolley song. Well then, Corey, you need to come to Viva and annoy me with it. Which, oh, by the way, spoiler alert, I think Heather's already announced it. But did you know that every single one of the Classy Chicks is actually going to be at Viva?
I'm so excited.
Yay. So it's going to be Heather's first time. So we've got to send her all our tips. And we are going to do a meetup. So you guys actually can come hang out with us for a little bit. We got to figure out like what day and what time that's going to be. But we will be there, and we're going to do like a little bit of a hangout. So you guys can come hang with us and chat about things. So yay. Yay. So I have a really hard time. The next question is going to be what your favorite part of this movie is. I have a really hard time. I mean, I mentioned the Halloween part, which I do think is one of my favorite parts. But I do, one of the things, and again, going back to what JL touched on, that I love is Judy Garland when she is trying to get like John Truitt's attention. I mean, these are like, you know, trying to be like the belle of the ball, like, you know, like, oh my, you walk into a party and you're like social butterfly. And I'm like, I've done that kind of stuff to try and get somebody to like notice me kind of thing, you know, because that's not very much really in my character. And it's just like all these little moments in this romance with him that I see still being done. You know what I mean? And it's just so damn relatable, and I absolutely love that. Friday Catch Up says she needs to win the lottery. Oh, we have another JL. She says she wish she could be there. Vintage Vegan Geek says, did you hear the part in the trolley song where there was a flub in it, but they kept it? You probably did not notice, but they said Judy's name when it was yelled out. Oh, how funny. Judy did do the trolley song in one take, which is probably why she was like, nope, not going to do it again. There's a line that Tootie says where they were talking about the trolley where she says, it looked like a live body. It's a dead body live. Corey says she will sing it to me all day long. You got to do a little dance too.
The hoochie coochie.
I hope I do get annoyed by you, or you try to annoy me, Corey, because we miss your face. So Heather, what part, if you had to cut it all down, what part is your absolute hands down favorite part? I guess
again, I like a lot of the parts with where she is trying to like meet the neighbor. So like when they go out on the porch, I've definitely done that. You know, you're like, let's go hang out on the front porch and see if they notice us. Like all of those little things, I love that because you really do. It does capture just that essence of like what it's like to be a teenager. But I think my favorite part of the movie is after the first party, when everyone leaves and then Rose is like, don't forget, you need your beauty sleep. But she's got John there and she's hidden his hat, so he has to be the last one to leave. And she comes out with his hat, and then she's like, but I think I need some help turning the lights out. This is so something I would have done. And I love that part. I think it's so sweet. Like the little moments when she's like, no, it turns off like this, and she touches his little arm. Like they're little moments throughout walking through the house. That's probably my favorite part. I think that part gives me more feels than the rest of the movie, just because I think it's so simple, but like just really, really sweet. And I think it's just true to like her character and exactly how she like would have like done and how innocent it is. That's my favorite part. And I love it at the end when she turns down the hallway light and then he leaves and then she turns it back up because she didn't really need to turn it off. Like I loved all of that.
What about you, JL?
My favorite part. I think it was a lot of it, like just the family dynamics. Like I just felt like how real all of that was, and it was just done in a way where it wasn't forced, and I just thought it was interesting that you know, like I said, even though this movie takes place like so long ago, that it's like we're still dealing at the core with like the same issues, you know, like, will the boy notice me? Is he going to call? My dad's ruining my life. My little sisters are super annoying. Arson, like, set aside, but it's just, I think that just kind of all of those, like, moments just make it, like, a real movie and relatable. And I think just one of the probably the moment that sticks out in my mind the most is still when they so and so from next door called and said, if you take her hammock, can you please put it back when you're done? I mean, just that this was such a normal thing, and that part of the movie is so like far removed from our normalcy, normal day-to-day lives, and that's not even something that like our parents or our grandparents experience. Like this is just something that's like it made me laugh so hard and wonder like how did people not care that their furniture was being set on fire? It was so, I don't know, just how this movie can just take you from like, I totally get it, to what? Like, to this is so far like outside of what normal life anymore.
Ooh.
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
My battery's dying.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I will say that Denise Marie wants you to be her movie buddy, JL. Corey Lynn says her favorite is when Esther and Rose are talking about monopolizing all the men at the dance, which is hysterical, especially when like Esther's like, I'm not gonna go, and she's like, but you have to. I can't handle 20.
Yeah. And 10, yes, 20. That's disaster.
No fighting on the table. No fighting.
It must be crazy cat time. Mine is literally like doing this to the light. Just like you see the light shaking or fall.
Well, they've taken to stand on the table and do the Rock'em Sock'em Robots pose and then just kind of like slap each other. I don't get it. Oh. That was somebody jumping off the table. Vegan Vintage Geek says her favorite is the snow people and how they dress them in furs and hats and purses. Yes!
Good.
I want to do that someday. I'm not going to lie. Make a whole village of people. But it has to be the right snow. It's actually harder than you would think it is. Mm-hmm. Friday Ketchup says, I like the dinner scene where the dad insisted on having his bath and the family was all like, meh, stuff you'll eat anyway. And there's no way in heck I'd put off beef for someone to have a bath. Adriana has joined us. She says, hello, beautiful dolls. My favorite part is when the grandfather takes Esther to the ball. Oh, yes. I love that part. And especially when he asked her, like, are you sure that's her dance card? And she's like, no.
I love so many things about the grandpa. Like, I love his bedroom. He's got like all this, like all of his hats. His whole room just makes he's just the best.
Well, and you know what's funny is at the beginning of the movie when they start singing the Meet Me in St. Louis song, the grandpa is actually singing the lyrics wrong. And I'm like, of course he is. Why wouldn't he be? That's such a grandpa thing to do, right?
I love it.
Dark Rose says one of her favorite parts is when Judy and her sister are upstairs before the house party. Yeah, that's such a good part. And she also says, and Judy's sister leaves, and Judy pinches her cheeks and smiles at the mirror, and then groans. I laugh every time. It's so relatable. Mm-hmm. I have actually done the cheek pinch, thinking that it works. Vegan Vintage Geek says, yeah, when the grandfather is talking about his suit needing to be let out with a pretty dress, I thought he was going to get the boy next door. It's sad he did not. But in a sense, he did, because he went around the Christmas tree with her and came out with, okay, here's the thing. The dreaded question, right? I honestly believe this to be one of the most perfectly cast movies in the history of movies. I think that even Minnelli as the director was perfectly chosen because I don't think this film would have had the feel that it did without him. So it's really, really hard for me to really warrant doing the dreaded question. So I'm going to do a take on the dreaded question. Because, because really at this point, every one of us is probably going to recast John Truitt, right?
Nailed it.
I think the one that nobody could do without might be a little bit different because fuzzes are cool. So what I want to do is say, if they had to remake this film, who would you cast in the role of Esther, of Judy Garland herself? Boom! Boom! Boom, boom, boom. I know, it's a big one.
I need a minute.
I didn't even plan. I never actually plan what I'm going to say beforehand. And you can go from any time frame at all to pick who you want.
I would do Drew Barrymore.
Ooh, interesting choice. I could.
90s Drew Barrymore.
I like it. Can she sing?
I don't know.
I think she's quirky enough for the character.
I think you're right. Yeah. Yeah. Dark Rose says Lisa Minnelli. I'm not sure I know who that is. Are you thinking Liza Minnelli, or is there a Lisa Minnelli with a Y? Because I'm Googling it. No, but there's a Lisa Minnelli with a Y that's a senior counsel for pension investments. I was thinking, Friday Catch Up said she was thinking about it earlier, JL, and she's the only name that she came up with. And she said auto-tune is always an option.
There you go.
And Dark Rose says she spelled it wrong. I love though that I got to Google that name though. No, don't be sorry. Don't ever be sorry for spelling somebody's name wrong, because otherwise we would never know that Lisa Minnelli is a senior counsel in pension investments. Evidently, if you Google my name, there's somebody with almost my exact name that's like in prison.
Oh,
That's good. That's great.
Yeah, it's not even all that interesting. I think it's like check fraud or something like that. And I'm like, really? Come on, girl.
Come on.
You can't have like you can't have like run naked through a Taco Bell or something. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's so funny. I can't think of the name of the person I'm trying to think of. Ooh. What about the daughter from Mad Men? What's her name? Kiernan? Is that her name? She might be a cute Judy. I feel like it needs to be someone young. Or like, hold on.
Oh, Kiernan Shipka. Oh, I feel like I've seen her and stuff. She looks a little bit like Hermione.
Yeah, she's kind of similar, but she's got this quirky little personality though. Whereas, like, what's Hermione's real name?
She's great.
Love her. But I think Kiernan has got this quirky little, like, she's a little bit. Ooh, what about Millie Bobby Brown from Stranger Things?
Oh, yeah, that'd be a good one.
I have to find a charging cord, so keep discussing. I'll be right back.
Okay. I am actually honestly drawing a blank on. I don't know any young quirky stars.
I'm trying to think of who else. I always want Zendaya for everything, but I won't pick her. You can't sing, no?
Because I feel like there's somebody that I'm trying to think of that would be perfect, and I can't think of who it is. Denise Marie says she needs a good pension plan. Spiral 73 made it. And her old retail job, she had a pension. She's like, surprise, that was cool.
That's cool.
Rachel let me go, Adriana. Hold on, let me Google that. I don't know anybody no more.
I think
Rachel. No.
Billy might be my pick.
Oh, she played Rachel Posser in House of Cards.
Gotcha. Yep. Oh, I like her. If you did her, you could do like a Ryan Gosling. Not. We're gonna think of the perfect person after this is over.
I know. Well, I haven't even guessed anybody yet. That's how horrible I am.
It's hard.
Because I would love to see somebody like Kristen Bell do it, like when she was a little bit younger. But then again, I love Kristen Bell.
Again, she's another I would cast in like anything.
Anything. So I feel like that's kind of a gimme.
I was thinking when we were let's again. I had actually thought that if I was going to recast anybody, it was going to be the younger one who, like, had the lip thing, you know, the sister as a young Drew Barrymore. Like, I thought she would have, like, little Drew Barrymore from E.T. would have been you as the little sister.
Okay, I could see that.
I didn't know you were like, well, let's just like recast one person for like a movie. So I came up with.
I didn't even think about it, so. Whoops. I know it's coming, and I never think about it. The worst.
I was kind of thinking Emma Stone, but I feel like she's like
La La Land
too
really
much.
her in musicals.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan.
Emma Watson was the one we were thinking of earlier. Let me see if anybody has. Does anybody else have any choices? What would they do? Taylor Swift? Tay-Tay? Maybe. I feel like she's gone to that point now where she's too like vampy red lipped. Maybe like the old Tay-Tay.
I feel like if we're thinking casting directors casting this, I feel like Anna Kendrick would be maybe who they would choose. She actually can sing well too.
Corey Lynn says Rachel Brosnan, Miss Maisel.
I love her.
Julianne Howe, Christian Bale would make a great boy next year. Oh, yes, Angie. Kristen Chenoweth.
Aww, I love her.
I love her so much. One of my absolute favorite shows she was ever in was Pushing Daisies. I love the color palette in that show. I love the quirkiness of that show. I love the people in that show. If you have not seen Pushing Daisies, go find it. Go watch it. Be sad. I think there was only 1 or 2 seasons.
I think only made it, what, half a season? I need to go finish that. Now that I can.
I guess there was more than 1 season, I think. I think there might have been 2. Yeah, there was 2 seasons. So good. So good, so good, so good. Now I want to go back and watch it. I think you did spell it right. Wasn't he the boy next door in Little Women, Christian Bale? Oh, I guess he was. Sarah Jean is here. She said Meet Me in St. Louis is her favorite movie of all time. It's so good. This movie literally makes me want to go and watch like all the movies that are like just those homey feel good movies.
Agreed.
All right. So let's see. We did not talk beforehand about what we want to do for next month, which will be March. Anybody have any suggestions? Spiral 73 says it has Korean subtitles if you want them.
Yay.
You know what about this movie also like always throws me for a Judy Garland movie is her hair. This is the only movie where you ever see her having long straight hair and bumper bangs, which is just crazy to me. And I think it's crazy that there was so much hair that was down in this movie because
it was really hair for like the era of time. I like it.
Yeah, but to be accurate, it should have been up. Because did I actually write this down? I swear I copied and pasted this because talking about like the hair and all that stuff is they actually, let me see. Oh, here it is. Minnelli worked really hard to make this movie as accurate to the times as possible. Sally Benson, the author of the short stories, gave him explicit directions as to the decor of her home down to the last detail. But the movie's costume designer took inspiration for many of the movie costumes right out of the Sears Roebuck, Montgomery Ward, and Marshall Field catalogs from that time period.
That's cool.
I love that.
I like a lot of cinematography of this movie too. Like I feel like a lot of it is so well done. Even with like Judy, there's multiple times throughout where she's like in a window or in a like they shoot her into a mirror. Like there's a lot of those scenes where it just like frames her, and I think it just adds to like that. I don't know, the sentimentality of it all.
Yes, that's perfect. Friday Ketchup says that we should do something British. Dark Rose says Darby Ogle. You guys are really making me Google tonight. Celia Kitten says she loves the Pushing Daisies as well. Yay. Darby Ogle and the Little People. Oh.
A movie.
Thanks, Shale. A touch of O'Blarney, a heap of O-magic, and a load of laughter. Oh, it's a Disney movie. That's why Jay knew it.
That movie before?
Is it? We will have
Dreamable, but...
Andy Hardy movie starring Mickey Rooney. I have a real hard time with Mickey Rooney. We might have to circle back around to him. Just because he's one of those people that I've read too much about him as a person. And now all I can think about that when I see him is who he really was. So it does. Bonnie Bailey says, how about Chinatown or Cabaret? Mm-hmm. We usually try to center it around a theme to make it easy for people to pick some type of theme. Or a person. Persons are fun. Guys, do you have any ideas for next month? What do you want to watch? Should we do a Disney movie? I don't think we've done a Disney movie yet, have we?
Like obscure Disney film? Escape to Witch Mountain?
I love that movie. I actually bought those movies for my nephew when he was little. They honestly don't hold up as well as you want them to.
No, they don't. I tried. We get Pollyanna.
It's called Candlestick 2. Did you ever see that one?
Mm-hmm.
With, what's her name?
I can't think of who's in it.
It is available on Amazon. Darby O'Gill.
Director now. That was one of my favorites when I was a kid.
It could be some kind of international themed movie.
All right, I think we should do a Disney movie.
I like it.
You can submit. The rule for it is it does have to be vintage, so it has to be prior to 1960. No, 1970.
Disney had some really
prior to
live actions during the 70s. I'm not even gonna lie. Like that was like their heyday for like live action films.
Agreed.
All right, so we'll do from the 70s back.
Yeah. Like the Cat from Outer Space.
Yeah.
Which one?
The Cat from Outer Space.
I never saw that one.
Oh my god. I've seen it so many times.
Oh my god. The Cat from the
I've always been a cat lady.
I'm like, I have cats. Why have I not seen this?
It's so cheesy, but so good.
It can be animated or it can be live action. Brigadoon is really good. Brigadoon! Snow White, and then can we talk about 30s fashion influence, what she looked like? Ooh, we can definitely put it out there. The Quiet Men. Vegan Vintage Geek says, yeah, I totally understand. I know Mickey Rooney was such a bad boy before the term became popular. I saw Spirals said, I saw a cat from outer space on an airplane.
What? Like in recent times?
I don't know.
I need to fly this airline. I love it.
The Three Lives of Thomasina. Oh, what is this? I've never seen that. Okay, so that's gonna be the thing. Oh, it's the Scottish film.
Yeah.
So if you're not already a member of the Facebook group, Classy Chicks Vintage Flicks, go on Facebook, find it, ask to join it, because that is where we take our movie suggestions, because unfortunately we lose all the good chat, the moon spinners, all the good chat that goes on during the live stream when it goes loads up onto YouTube. So we lose all that. So we do, JL will put up, probably not tonight, it'll probably be in the next day or so, or one of us might do it for her because she is in a battle with her body over the right to not be sick. And then we will take suggestions over there and then put it up for a vote to see what we're going to do for next month. So thank you guys so much for coming out. As always, thank you to the moderators for moderating the craziness that was going on earlier. And I think that we're going to do that every month just to make it a little bit easier so that we're not all insanely distracted by the craziness that goes on, because I don't know what the hell just happened. But thank you guys for doing that. And you guys have a great night. And if you're going to miss our faces, check us out on the social medias. There's been a lot of stuff happening around there lately. So follow Heather as How to Be Fancy, Jail as Modern Retro Girl, myself as a Vintage Vanity. So until next month, we bid you adieu.
Bye.
Bye.
And now for Jen to find this button that turns it all off. Bye, guys. Have a good night.